Kia ora rā koutou, te whānau whānui ko huri mai ki tēnei wāhanga i tēnei rā. Ngā mihi nui, te Hau Kāinga podcast, Ngāpuhi, this is us in this very special place, ngā mihi kia koutou. And our guest this morning is Dr. Claire Achmad, and she's the Chief Children's Commissioner. I've got to get that right.
Ka pai matua pio.
Yeah, well done. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Tēnā tātou katoa, ko oho mai Ringi Smith tōku ingoa.
Tēnā koe. And oho mai, I'm going to let you ask our guest the first question.
Okay, what are child rights?
Oh, tuatahi kia ora e hoa, ka nui te mihi ki a koe te oho mai rangi. What are children's rights? That is a great partai to kick off with. So children's rights are the rights that all children, all mokopuna have, and that's here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and around the world. And these are affirmed and established in important human rights documents like Te Tiriti o Waitangi, which affirms the rights of mokopuna Māori, as tangata whenua o tēnei whenua o Aotearoa, and also a really special document as well called the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. And that's an international human rights treaty, so a document that New Zealand signed up to in 1993, and it sets out 42 different rights that all mokopuna around the world, including mokopuna here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, have because of their age and stage of life. And so it applies for all mokopuna under the age of 18. And it's basically things like being able to know your identity and your whakapapa, being able to have your relationships with your whānau, be protected and kept safe from things like family violence, and also to have things like privacy, to have a right to information, and also, I love this particular right, the right to have fun and to play. So really important things. And to learn, yes, the right to education, to health, and also to things like non-discrimination, to have a voice and participate in things that are important to you, and also to participate in big decisions affecting our society as well, because we know they impact on mokopuna.
We are so lucky to have that. But when you told me the date, or told us the date, to me that seems quite recent, because when you were talking then, I think about the stories of our tamariki overseas, chimney sweeps and working in mines and stuff like that. But 1993, I would have thought that would have come out earlier.
Well, actually, there's a whakapapa to that document, the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, and it started a lot earlier after the First World War with a document called the Declaration on the Rights of the Child. And then over the next few years, it was built on. And then in 1989, the different countries around the world and came together and said, hey, we want to protect these rights for all mokopuna around the world. Right. And something I love about this treaty is that all countries around the world have signed up to it except for one, and that's the United States of America. But the fact that all countries except the USA have agreed to this convention, that says something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That these are the basic things that all children around the world should experience.
Maybe it's covered in their constitution or something in another way. They already have something. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to see them sign up to it too, so that we can say that all countries around the world have agreed these things. But hey, you never know.
People often say that this is, and I agree and believe it, but we know the reality can be different, that this is the greatest country in the world to bring up tamariki. How do you feel about that kōrero?
I think that here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we have some pūrākau, some stories that we tell ourselves, but they're not always true. And so I think, yes, Aotearoa, New Zealand is a great place to be a mokopuna, to be a tamariki. But we know that for far too many mokopuna, life is tough. And they're not experiencing their full range of even their basic rights.
Right.
Things like the right to have a safe and affordable house, things like the right to have good, nutritious kai on the table, things like the right to experience your whakapapa, to know your whānau and to be safe in the care of your whānau. These are some of the big issues that are affecting far too many mokopuna, including our mokopuna Māori. And so those are the kinds of things that I work to try and help to change.
Fantastic. You got another pātai book?
Who was your favourite family member and why?
What a good question.
Oh, he pātai nui e hoa.
I didn't write that.
I love this question, but gosh, it's a hard one because I'm really lucky that I come from a very loving and beautiful whānau. Can I cheat and say two people that go together?
Yeah.
And that would be my grandparents on my mum's side. Sadly, I didn't ever get to meet my grandparents on my dad's side, but my gran and papa on my mum's side, they had a big role in helping to bring me and my brother up together with my mum and dad. They lived just like 5 minutes around the road from our whare, and they were amazing people, Aileen and Tom, and you know what? They were two of my best friends.
Kia ora.
And even though they've passed on now, I really know that they're always with me in my nāko. They're always helping to guide me, and they were amazing role models to me. And I think that's why they're two of my favourite whānau members, because they always had time for me. They taught me a lot of things, like my gran taught me how to bake and to cook. My papa was always discussing with me about, you know, things that were happening here in Aotearoa, things that were happening in Te Taiao and the Te Ao Whānui. Also, he was always really supportive of me learning about Te Ao Māori and learning Te Reo Māori, me tikanga Māori at school.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the things that I love about my grandparents. And they were people who were very giving in their community as well, serving others, being alongside others. So they were great role models for me growing up.
And what's their whakapapa? Where were they from?
So Irish and Scottish ancestry for the most part. Yeah. So that's the whakapapa on that side of the whānau.
I think that taha Māori's creeping in because of the Scottish side, because Māori and Scottish get on so well because we're clans people, you know, and we like it when you get our name right. You know? So your big challenges, you're new to the position. It's a huge job. Some of the challenges that you think you'll face, and unfortunately, there's a few.
Ai, he tika tērā. You know, I've been in this role for just over a year now. And over that first year of mahi being Chief Children's Commissioner, my big focus has been on being in communities with mokopuna, with tai tamariki, with whānau, out and about around the motu, including up here in Te Tai Tokerau. And I have to say, you know, the whānau of Ngāpuhi have been so welcoming to me over that time, and just want to mihi te whānau o Ngāpuhi mō te manaakitanga nui ki aho. Because it has been really, really special to learn more about the mokopuna of Ngāpuhi, to learn about your aspirations and your hopes and your dreams, but also about the things that are challenging. And so that's been a big focus for me in this first year of my mahi, hearing what it is that matters to mokopuna. And so I've been taking all of that in, absorbing that, and then whenever I'm advocating, and I do that in places like our Parliament in Wellington, when I meet with ministers in the government, people like the Prime Minister, Minister for Children, when I show up at select committees to talk about different legislation that's going through the Parliament, and then also when I'm in the community, talking to different groups of people, and in the media, sometimes I have to go on TV and radio and, you know, talk about and amplify children's rights. And I'm always focused on bringing forth what is it that I have been hearing from mokopuna, what's important to them, what change do they want to see, and what do we need to be doing to uphold their rights, your rights, te oho mahirangi, and amplifying your voices. And so the things that I've heard, and this comes back to your pātai matua pio, is about the big things that are challenges and that we need to see change on. The first one is that we need to be strengthening and supporting whānau better.
Kia ora.
So that whānau can be safe and nourishing and thriving places for mokopuna. Also, we need to see more investment going in to support mokopuna in those crucial early years of their life, so those first 2,000 days. Also, we need to be listening better to mokopuna, and we need to be supporting things like their mental health and their well-being, making sure that they can access education equitably. And then for mokopuna in our oranga tamariki space, really, we don't want to see one more mokopuna go into the care of the state. We want to see whānau-led solutions, by Māori, for Māori solutions, for mokopuna Māori. So those are some of the big challenges. They are big, and it is big mahi, but, you know, what could be more important than our mokopuna, right?
Kia ora. Kia ora. Thank you. It's so heartening to hear that. You know, I get approached and they say, "Pure, what do you think the secret is for our Māori families?" And I go, to be more Māori. Because when we look back in the old traditional ways of tiaki tamariki and that, there are a lot of positive answers for the way, you know, tamariki, a child from God, all those things, the tapu o te tamaiti ne. So all those things. So it's really neat to hear that one has to be so connected to those communities to help make those decisions, eh? Fantastic.
Absolutely. And, you know, also what I am constantly reminded of and inspired by is, you know, how whānau cared for mokopuna in Te Ao Māori pre-colonisation.
Kia ora. That's
Tīpuna parenting, tūpuna parenting, all about the aroha wrapped around a mokopuna, you know, and that is something that we just want to nurture and want to keep seeing grow amongst our whānau Māori. So wherever I can, I'm here to support that, be alongside our mokopuna and whānau Māori, and continue to hear your voices around the motu.
That's so heartening. Tēnā koe. You got another one, Bubble?
No, it's all right.
Okay, te pai. Waitangi, how's it been for you guys? Because you've been busy. I see you, you know, your steps are really up. You've been out there pressing the flesh and listening into some of the kōrero that's been happening. You know, what are a few of the highlights? For me, the atmosphere is the main highlight. But, you know, how have you found it?
Oh, so many highlights of the week here at Waitangi. And it's my commitment, you know, as long as I'm in this role as Chief Children's Commissioner, I will always come and spend this week here in Waitangi to be amongst mokopuna and whānau of te taitokarau, of te motu, to hear what they've got to say. So that's my number one highlight for this year. Hearing what the mokopuna rangatahi katoa have had to say at our space that we've been co-hosting with NIS and ARCO Foundation. We have been privileged to hear the voices, the whakaaro of mokopuna, of rangatahi katoa. I'm speaking on our panel kōrero. And something that has come through really strongly to me is just how proud mokopuna are to be Māori. It's awesome to see mokopuna really stepped into their mana Māori, their ngaha Māori, strong in their reo, their tikanga, and proud to share that with others. Also, you know, those strong calls from mokopuna, uphold te tiriti o Waitangi, ko tahitanga. Let's be one nation that honours that promise of te tiriti o Waitangi. And I tautoko that call, you know, and I will continue to amplify that call into the places that it needs to continue to be heard. And then I think a couple of other highlights, the wairua.
Kia ora.
Here in Waitangi, here in Te Taitakorau, the manaakitanga that te iwi o Ngāpuhi is showing everyone who is coming through, you know, and there have been thousands of people here. The manaakitanga, you know, it's awesome to be able to walk around here in Waitangi. You put a kia ora out, you get a kia ora and a smile back.
From everybody.
As that, exactly. I'm seeing whānau here being themselves, being peaceful. You know, this is what Aotearoa can be, ko tahitanga in action. And then this morning I had the privilege to share karakia at the dawn ceremony up at Te Wharerunanga. And my karakia was bringing forward the mana of mokopuna. And the karakia that I shared called Ka Ora Hou speaks of the potential that is in every single mokopuna who comes into this world, and that we should nourish that and elevate that. And so that was a real privilege to be able to bring that karakia, that kaupapa into this space. And as I shared before I went into the karakia, the most important thing we need to do right now is to nurture that boundless potential that every mokopuna has, and to listen to what it is that mokopuna taitamariki are telling us, because gosh, they have important voices and important things that need to be listened to right now by the adults around them.
Tēnā koe te rangatira, tino hariana te ngākau ko puta mai i nei kōrero papai, i nei kōrero aroha ki ngā tangata katoa o tō tātou whenua. Nō reira, ngā mihi, ngā mihi, ngā mihi nui. Kia ora tātou.